Welcome to Real People, Real Conversations. So today is going to be our first conversation. I have two guests. They have a few topics they want to cover, but we're first going to start out with the current climate. Let me just start by having them introduce themselves. So hang on. Okay, guys, you can introduce yourselves.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Hi, Matt.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I hear you.
Oh, I just got you back. Sorry. Am
Okay.
I going?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh. Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for having me on today. My name is Matt. I am a 26-year-old male. I live in Long Island, New York. I currently work in sales and will be attending law school in August.
Okay, nice to meet you.
You as well. Hey, Lori. This is Kevin. Thank you for having me on.
Hi,
I'm a
Kevin.
23-year-old male. I
Okay.
currently live on Long Island, but I'm currently going to Drexel University in Philadelphia. I'm getting my master's degree and hope to start med school in August.
Okay, that's great. Okay, guys, so I did mention that you wanted to start discussing the current climate. So if you want to start, Matt, you could start.
All right. So for me, when I look at society today, there's three main things that jump out at me. One is a lack of nativism or patriotism. There's a lack in the pride of being American, which is troubling for me to see. The second is an unimaginable division on many pillars, whether it's black versus white, conservative versus liberal, rich versus poor. There's just more division in this country than we've seen lately. And for me, in my experience, one of the most pressing things in society today is the prejudice towards being a Trump supporter. I am a Trump supporter. I'm a conservative, and I do feel that we must, for lack of a better way to put it, hide our support for our president in today's society. Whether it's wearing a MAGA hat or just being vocal about your support. There's been backlash, whether it's a teen, I'm pretty sure both of you heard this, but a teen in Arizona was attacked in a restaurant for wearing a MAGA hat. There's been people kicked out of stores for expressing their support for Trump. A reporter from, I think it was MSNBC, was fired for wearing a MAGA hat. So that's one of the most pressing issues I see in today's society is, just kind of division on all fronts.
Okay, so as far as, so what do you feel it is? Do you feel that people don't like the president because of his policies or don't like his personality?
I think it could be a mixture of both. I think the people that dig deeper and who have a distaste for Trump, it might be because of policy or just views on a slew of different topics. But I think a lot of it comes from, and this is why I'm so glad you started this podcast, comes from being poisoned by the mainstream media. MSN. I'm sorry? MSN. MSN? MSN. The dangers of MSN. Oh, yes. Mainstream media. Correct. But yeah, so I think it could, it derives from a bunch of different fronts, but whether it's personality or policy, I think that it shouldn't create an environment where those who do support Trump can't do so openly.
Right. Okay, so that's what you're saying. So I think sometimes it's because people just do not like Trump. He was a billionaire businessman. How did he become president? And sometimes I almost feel like some people just prejudge him just because of that. He was never in politics. So how did this man become president? And unfortunately, I think today, because I think it is okay to not like the president. That's okay. But there's a fine line between not liking him, disrespecting the president of the United States, and then disrespecting people who voted for him. Because I think, I'm sorry, but I just think with every president, of course there's always going to be something you don't like about that president. There is not one president that every single person in America liked and didn't find one thing wrong with them. So I just feel like today it's a little bit out of balance. So what do you say, Kevin?
I would like to say I told Matt during the 2016 election season that we saw this coming. There was such like a great divide during Hillary's run. It was like, if you like Hillary, what were you thinking? If you like Trump, wow, you're a racist, you're this, you're that. And I do think people get pre-labeled as, if you're a Trump supporter, you look at them, you're like, oh my gosh, this person's a racist, or they're rich and they don't like the poor, this and that. But I think that the Donald does add to this hatred that people have. Like, he makes you feel as if it's he against everyone else. If you support him, you're with him. If you don't, you're on the other side, and we don't care for you. So I think there's definitely a big divide in the country today. But so people who like Trump are forgetting that he does add to it himself.
So what do you mean when you say, just give me an example, what do you say that he adds to it himself? Like his policies or just his personality?
I wouldn't say his policies that much, but if you go through his Twitter when he launches the attacks on other people, he always makes it a Republican versus Democrat, or like through his tweets. And also when he comes at someone, like during his campaign, he came after Mexicans and he said they're dirty, illegals. Like, just the terms he uses, they've never been seen in politics before, where you're like, whoa, these are such charged terms that you shouldn't be using them as a leader of the country.
All right, so, because you do know he was never a politician. He comes from New York.
Yeah.
So it's like you took a person...
He was never a politician, he doesn't have experience.
Absolutely.
Some of these terms are going to cause a reaction.
Okay, and I definitely understand you, because this is a man from New York, and I always make a joke. You could take the man out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of the man. You can't. It is who he is. He's definitely not going to change. Okay. But what do you...
Other states now, like living in Pennsylvania, living in Baltimore, we're different. New Yorkers are very different than the rest of the country.
Right. So I understand what you're saying, but when you say dirty Mexicans, see, I didn't take it that he felt all Mexicans were dirty. I never took it like that. So that's what, like, it's amazing that you watched it and you took it like he painted a brush over everybody. I watched it and I took it that he meant people coming here illegally, because you do have to know one thing, Kevin. People that are coming here illegally, and we don't know who they are. Yes, there's probably great people here that have been here, and I really do hope that they do become citizens. And sometimes things happen in the past, however they came here. They might have been here since babies. Yes, they should be citizens. But the thing is that when you do have people coming into the country and nobody knows who they are, do you honestly think that they are all good people that are coming here?
That I agree. There are going to be bad illegal immigrants. There are going to be good illegal immigrants. But my thing is, he does it so obviously some people understand that he's not labeling all of them, but I'm saying as a president, he should be very careful with his words when he says that, because then he sparks a certain group of people in America who say, okay, all of them are bad. And then that's what causes the divide, in my opinion.
Okay.
I definitely agree with you. There's definitely good and bad coming in.
And also, too, so I'm going to agree with you, Kevin. It's his delivery. That's really what you're saying.
Yes.
Because
it's always been his delivery.
Right.
From day one, that's what I told. I told this Matt multiple times. He has to be more careful with his words.
Okay. Now, Kevin, can I ask you something real quick?
Yes.
You said that Trump has this behavior or this view that if you're with him, and if you're not, forget about you.
Yes.
Wasn't that the same from Hillary when she labeled all Trump supporters deplorables?
Deplorables, yes. That was a very, very, very bad. I agree.
This election, it wasn't that Trump incited division because of how he is. It was kind of just the election brought upon division between the two parties like we haven't seen, in at least our lifetime. But I don't think it is as one-sided as you made it seem with Trump.
Well,
I think... Okay, what are you going to say, Lori?
I was just going to point out one thing. When Obama was running, I'm trying to think if it was when he was running for re-election, he did say to knock down doors, like to get all those Republicans to see the same view that a Democrat. He said, yell in their face. He basically, at that point, before Trump even came about, was basically telling people that you want to get in a Republican's face and tell them this is what we need, this is the way the country should go. for everyone to see his views, and he made that clear. But I never took that I didn't take that like literally. I got it. He was trying to say, like, make them understand. And I think that everyone that's running, they all do that to some point, some degree. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I never took that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just think, in terms of when he says, beat up any reporter in the rally. How recent was that? In 2018, I believe. He was congratulating one of the politicians that was running for slamming a reporter on a table. There's just at some points you can't endorse violence against a reporter, you know?
No, and I think what happens is, and when sometimes we do miss the point, it's when something happens at a rally, you know, because everyone at least has to look at, you do see the difference when reporters are going at Donald Trump from day one. They're full on attack. And there's some, right, okay, so there are some that are very aggressive, and I feel he gets on a defensive. And there was one man, and you're right, because he did say at a rally, get him out of here. If this was my day, I would punch him. But nobody says what happened. He spit in a woman's face. So neither thing was good, what happened at that rally. But all the media showed was what him saying, in my day, I would punch that and get him out of here. But nobody ever said what that man did prior to Donald Trump responding. Does that make a difference to you? Like if you hear something that happened right before and it was a human response, he was angry. Does that make a difference to you or no?
No, I agree with you. There's definitely a coverage that always is slanted and biased where that doesn't come the other thing. But I just feel like at times you cannot incite violence. And that's almost every rally, that's what he does.
All right, so let me...
That's why I've always said that's why we're seeing such a rise in white nationalists and Nazis attacking other people, is because they're saying we can get away with this because we have this cloud over us. Because they think Trump supports him, which he does not. Trump is not a racist. He never was a racist. But these people think they have him to back them.
Okay, so I want to respond to that, but I'm not going to. I want to let Matt respond to that. Matt, do you have anything to add to that? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, and Kevin and I do this often when we go back and forth, but I just bring about examples from the other side. And when Black Lives Matter under Obama was, at its peak, it seemed as though people who supported Black Lives Matter and went killing cops, they thought they had the backing of Black Lives Matter as the president, just the same way that neo-Nazis and white supremacists think they have Trump support. But I'm not going to go on the record here and say that Barack Obama incited cop killings, just the same way I don't think that Trump's words incite white nationalists or neo-Nazis. I think crazy people are going to be crazy people, and if they find some kind of way in which they think they have a support system or a backing, they're going to act on their, irrational behaviors. And I think that just like it's going on with Trump and supremacists, it happened with Black Lives Matter and Obama.
Pretty good take.
Okay, all right. I like that, Matt. That was good. Very good. So let's see where we can go with this next. What about so we're talking about what the president does, and we're saying that he incites violence. So do you think that when somebody that didn't support President Trump, when they go to attack someone that supported him, where do you think then that's coming from?
I think those people are outraged that he won, and they have to get over themselves. That's number one. And number two, I think these people are saying like, oh, why do I have to sit back? Like, I should go ahead and attack the Trump supporters. But what are you doing? You're not accomplishing anything. And again, we as Americans have become way too divided in that. Like, just because they don't see your worldview is you're going to attack another person. And we're seeing all those videos on Twitter everywhere. Antifa are gathering and attacking all these people. I would tell you right now, I don't support any of that. And I can't really defend that. I have nothing to say in sport.
I know, because that really is sad that this is the president of the United States, whether you like him or not, that somebody can't even walk out with a red hat that says "Make America Great Again." And you have to, because I'll be honest, I did buy that for my dad for Christmas. And Then my dad's 72, and then I got nervous. I started thinking, oh my goodness, I don't even know if I want him to wear that to a local grocery store. If someone will key his car, that's the direction this is how far this has gone with this president right now. That if you hate him that much, now you're going after people that supported him. Where did that hate come from?
It's a different world. It's never been like this.
Well, the only thing that I will say, as far as people going after Trump supporters, like somebody that supports a president, people like attacking them, that's all new. But I think that I started seeing division when you started seeing when we had incidents with cops and we weren't sure what the story was and if it was a black man that was killed. I found that before we even found out all the facts, everybody just went after cops, and it started with Black Lives Matter, and that was it. It set the tone, like as if it was like police officers against black men. And I believe there's good and bad in everything. And I think what happened was there was just a broad paintbrush against every cop. And that's where I feel I started seeing it. Buildings were burning in streets. Did you ever see that? Because I never saw that in my lifetime.
Yes, the riots, yeah.
That was horrible.
I always tell your son and all our other friends, I'm like, at this time, like, at the end of the day, everything you do is under a microscope, and you are on the wrong party until proven right. You know?
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing today. Every cop is either wrong until proven guilty.
I know. So that's where
It's sad.
I feel it started then, because there were a lot of people that were crazy with President Obama. I felt a lot of people, but they weren't going after somebody that supported him. But a lot of people they felt like he was divisive. And but it just didn't go to this level. But you did see riots that I'm going to tell you, I've never seen in my lifetime that were crazy. And that's where I feel like it all started. So then you went from that to Donald Trump becoming president. So it was like the whole combination of what happened then, and then fast forward to Donald Trump, and now like I said, you can't even openly support your president.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Donald Trump running for presidency for a country that's on the brink of a huge mass division, it's only going to make it worse, unfortunately.
Oh, I want to ask both of you a question. I just realized this. Do you think that this would have happened, I'm not going to say if Hillary won, if it was another Republican? Do you think that just because it was a Republican that won and not a Democrat to continue, what Obama did, like his legacy? What do you guys think about that?
Matt, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I don't think it would have been like this. I think that Trump is very blunt and candid and waged this war against the media, which the media then took and started going against him. And I think that's what further divided and made people outraged when he won, is because the media, harped on every story that made him look like a sexist, a misogynist, or a racist. And when those are, being put into the public eye day after day, hour after hour, and then he wins the presidency, that's where you get this huge rift and this massive division with riots and Antifa now. I think that if any other Republican politician won, who won is a little more polished as a politician and maybe not so candid and blunt, one who did not wage a war against the mainstream media, I don't think that we would see what we see today.
Right. So what do you think? It was the fact...
I agree with
What?
that as well.
Okay, so what do you guys feel? Do you feel he called out the media for being biased?
I don't. Go ahead, Kev. I think just during the primary season, just even in the Republican Party, you saw how he was going to run the country if he had won, and how he ran his campaign. Even going after Jeb Bush so personally, going after Marco Rubio. This is not just... It's always been Donald Trump attacks that person. And he goes to such a personal level that people just see it, okay, like the people who are against him, like I said, they're going to be like Matthew said, you're going to attack everything he says, you're going to literally, every little move he does, you're going to have a reaction to it and going to cheer for him, and that's where it began. And then once he got into the Republican versus Democrat, he came up to Hillary, it got even bigger, and now that he's the actual president, it's what it is now.
Well, Kevin, do you remember when he first started running? He was on every channel. They loved him.
Yeah, of course. That also is like, if you look back, a lot of the media says maybe we made a mistake and we may have covered him too much, and that's what began this.
Okay.
Probably was.
Right. Because before they hated this man, they loved him. It's the truth.
Yeah, they loved him. They wanted, because they figured, okay, let's cover Donald Trump. He's going to bring ratings in. And then they were just like, okay, we cannot not cover him anymore. We have to keep covering him every day, every hour. Like Matt said, every single move has to be covered, has to be dissected and discussed.
Right, right. So
I
then,
wouldn't so much say discussed as I would say spun into a narrative that maybe wasn't so much the truth.
in other words,
I missed it. That's just my take. I said I wouldn't say so much discussed. I would say that every move he made was spun and, you know, crafted to fit a narrative that maybe wasn't so much the truth, but one that painted him to be, again, misogynist, racist, a bigot, or however you want to, you know.
What do you think, like, how do you think about the Republican primaries, though, like I said, when he first began?
Say that again?
When he first began running, when he came after every, because the Republican primaries, there's what, 14 candidates?
yes.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think that he was, you know, he was a guy that was going to bring in ratings. So they covered everything he did with maybe not so much of a negative spin, but hey, I think that when Trump announced his candidacy for president, no one thought we'd be here today. Yeah.
True,
So,
true.
you know, let's cover him. Let's get our ratings up. He's funny. He's, you know, not politically correct, and people wanted to see that. And then all of a sudden he started to gain traction, and it was, we have to slow this down. How do we do that besides, you know, putting out every negative thing we can on him, whether it's true or false?
All right, so just to like kind of wrap this topic up. So do you feel like, do both of you agree that the mainstream media definitely is added to this country being divisive, of just covering negative coverage?
100%. I couldn't be in more agreement with that.
Wow. See, look, there's people, we can always agree on something. Matt, what do you agree? Do you agree?
I'm sorry?
I said, do you agree?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. So we're going to close this because we're actually over 20 minutes. I think this was a great conversation, and I like that we listened to everybody's point of view. And we can always continue, go on to something else, but it's just a start. And that was my whole point of doing Real People, Real Conversation, is to show that we can vote for whoever, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whoever you voted for, we could still talk to each other and find some common ground and see each other's point of view.
Yeah, thank you for having us on, Lori.
Oh my God, thank you guys. This was great. This was just like a start, and I would love to have you guys come on again. I'm sure there might be something else. Current event might be something that could be happening during that week. Reach out to me, and you can always come back.
Lori, I wouldn't mind this being a weekly segment, me versus Kevin.
All right. It was great. I thought it was great. You guys did good.
I'm only kidding.
Okay.
I didn't mean to use the word first. But thanks again, Lori.
That's true. Okay, guys, have a great day.
You too. You too.
Okay, so that was my first phone conversation that I had. We had two guests on. We had Matt and Kevin. I thought it was great. They had a little bit different point of views, but in the end, I felt like we all agreed with each other as far as mainstream media, that it definitely can be very divisive and one-sided, and that's what happens. People start to choose side, which is really not a good thing in today's climate. So I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and this will continue because I'm sure there will be a lot more, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.